YouTube, Awesome Rider here. This is just going to be a little freeform discussion video on the current state of the Power Rangers franchise, primarily talking about the current lack of information. There has been a noticeable lack of information and lack of really anything on all fronts on Power Rangers, and I wanted to discuss that and discuss my thoughts on it and what it might mean. Effectively, you know, where we're at right now, the Lightning Collection is still releasing, we still have stuff happening, it seems a little bit slower than usual. You still have the mainline stuff basically releasing on track. There's a lot less merchandise in the mainline than we had back in the day with Bandai, but it's all releasing at roughly the same time you would expect. And we still have, as of this recording, a second half of Dino Fury to get to. But we haven't heard about anything in regards to the future. In terms of our old timetable, we probably would have known about a new season by now. All we know is that there's a reboot movie and stuff in the works, and there's a bunch of rumors swirling on about it, about like an anniversary special, a mini adaptation, are we going to stop adaptions? What was that Juoju rumor that happened? There's all kinds of speculation, but most of the news has been rumors. And in the Power Rangers fandom, talking about rumors apparently is like saying the name Voldemort. You just should never do it. Something I wanted to note right off the bat, which I don't think this necessarily means everything's fine, but I think that the Power Rangers fandom has definitely become used to a schedule. I think it's kind of crazy when you think back, for the most part, we've learned about the new seasons, and the new seasons have come out at roughly the same time for a really long time. It's been a very consistent schedule for any franchise. And, you know, regardless of what happens next, you know, whether we're going to do adaptions or an animated or a reboot or some mishmash of all three, or we're just going to have to imagine the new season in our heads, the way Power Rangers is being made is changing in some form. So I think whether the reboot suddenly comes out next year or it's 5 years later than we thought, I think when we learn about the seasons and how is going to change. And I think that's worth noting, and that's kind of been an example in the toy line. You know, it's not the most drastic change ever, but if you remember, I've brought this up in several videos, back in the Bandai days, we could almost always expect the new toys to hit shelves around Black Friday, and you would have pretty much the entire first wave fully stocked by the time Christmas rolled around for the shopping season. Nowadays, the new season toys usually roll out after the first of the year. I think the earliest I've ever found something was December 30th, like after Christmas. That doesn't sound like a huge change, but it kind of is, in a way, in terms of getting used to a new schedule for the toys. So I think that's worth noting. I think we're in a lull right now for a reason, but I think going forward, whatever new form the show or movies take, we're likely going to get things on a different timetable than we're expecting. And I think because of that, because people are expecting the old timetable, fans will do this all the time in every franchise. You make promises to yourselves, and then when the company doesn't deliver on a promise they never made, people tend to throw a hissy fit and think that it's the end of the world and the apocalypse. Now, with all that being said, it has been noticeably quiet. I think there's been rumors about Entwistle leaving the project, rumors about all kinds of other things happening behind the scenes. We don't really know for sure. We only kind of have a feeling, and we know that there's a Netflix deal and rumors about them reevaluating it in the wake of, you know, the pandemic and the theater changes and G.I. Joe not doing well. And all we can do is speculate. I'll just say that I don't find the lack of show or movie news to be enormously surprising. I think that likely there's been a number of factors behind the scenes that have caused numerous delays and reevaluations. And I'll just say that I think that all that means is we're just going to be in for a longer delay than we're thinking. I don't think the reboot's going to come out as soon as we thought. Like I said before, I kind of tend to sit on the fence. I don't think every move Hasbro makes is a calculated move against the franchise, and they're not trying to kill the brand with everything they're doing. I don't think they're trying to sabotage something they bought with missing paint apps and quietness. But I don't think that everything's fine and it's blind praise time. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think that they do want to make something happen with the brand. I don't think it's their priority, not in a we want it to fail way, but in a they have bigger fish to fry way. You know, they own Transformers, a bigger brand. They have the toy rights to Star Wars and Marvel, much bigger brands, much more understandable priorities. I don't think it's their priority, but I do think they want to see something happen with it. I think there's been a lot of unfortunate behind-the-scenes things that have happened that have caused reevaluation. If you look on the positive side of that, I'm glad they're not trying to rush anything out, and maybe they are trying to reevaluate it to make the best product possible. And I'm also glad they're not rushing an announcement out that just leads to more announcements about delays. So I'm not as concerned about that. In my opinion, the biggest negative that's going to come out of this lack of news for the brand is the reboot's going to happen later than we think, as they've had to deal with many roadblocks. I do find it kind of more suspicious and negative that we've had so much of a lull in the toy department. We've gotten a decently steady stream of Legacy announcements. No, we haven't. Lightning announcements. But there has been a severe lack of Fan Fridays, which I'm going to be honest, I don't mind. I don't need a Fan Friday for every toy announcement. Sometimes I feel like it could have just been done in a tweet. But the Fan Fridays certainly kept a certain amount of momentum going, a certain amount of discussion going, and it's been very quiet on that front, and it's very weird that we have only gotten one, and it was like a half a one with the Transformers one combined in recent times, and I think that's a little bit weird. I hope that changes. Maybe they're reevaluating things from the future based off of some of the mistakes and complaints they've gotten. Who knows? I definitely think that's suspicious, but I do think that things are successful enough right now that I don't see them shelving the brand. I see a lot of people thinking that they're going to shelve the brand. I don't think that's impossible for all time, but in the near future, I don't see that happening. I think that there's just a lot of behind-the-scenes reevaluations going on that I can only speculate on. I mean, going into the anniversary next year, we have a bunch of rumors about anniversary specials and adaption seasons. My personal speculation is the Lightning Collection will continue. I get a feeling / hope they'll try to make a bigger deal about some things in light of the anniversary. I don't think there'll be a traditional main show, and I think that likely there will be other stuff like the VHS Megazords or maybe some re-released MMPR type of stuff to fill that void. I think there will be something for the anniversary. I just think in a way it's going to be lesser than what we think. Not that it's going to be bad, but I think, especially when we hit anniversaries, the fandom tends to have expectations that are so far up, they've left the atmosphere, and they make a lot of promises to themselves. So I think that's probably not going to help. But I don't think it's going to be as big as we're necessarily thinking. Right now, the rumor is that there's going to be an anniversary reunion special that David Yost is going to be in, and they're going to have Trini's daughter in it or something. And there's also rumors of a smaller adaptation that may use something like Zenkaiser that's also going to have David Yost in it. I feel like David Yost is going to be in it, whatever it is. I feel like there's just too much going on that's been put out into the universe in regards to David Yost that he's going to be in whatever this is. I feel like, in terms of these rumors going on, that there's a bit of truth to some of it. I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe all of it's true. I don't know. I don't have the inside track. It's just my thought that probably a kernel of it is true, and I think they'll try to do something for the anniversary. Maybe it'll be a mini adaptation season. Maybe it'll be an anniversary special. Maybe it'll be kind of a combo of both, where it's like a 6 or 7 or 8 episode little mini series. It's like a reunion special. But I think there will be something. I don't think it will be as big as people think. That's what she said. I think there will be something. I think that it'll maybe be a little bit lackluster overall compared to some people's expectations, but I think that they're going to do something for the 30th anniversary. Because even though Power Rangers isn't exactly popping off right now, it has a decent enough presence, and we're heading to an anniversary year that I can't see them not capitalizing on it in some form. So I think that prediction that toy-wise and with it doing something for an anniversary special or show, there will be a little bit more of a presence than there is during this current quiet moment. But then after that, I think we might be in for maybe a little bit of a lull. I think that we're in one now, but like more of one. My prediction is they'll do something for the 30th anniversary toy and show-wise, but then after that, we might just get some Lightning Collection releases and the comics, maybe some odds and ends stuff like those VHS tape figures while we wait for the reboot to be ready. I think they wanted the reboot to be ready for immediately after the anniversary. I don't think it's going to happen due to behind-the-scenes thing. I guess my point is I think that people are right in the sense that this lull means bad things, in the sense that things aren't going to be happening as fast as we want them. But I don't think it means doom for all time. I mean, after all, Power Rangers has died before. Like, seriously, it's been canceled like 5 times. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, somehow Power Rangers has returned. Wouldn't be too worried. I feel like a lot of people tend to be doom and gloom. You hit on Ranger Board, you hit on Twitter, and Hasbro makes a move and they're like, it's the end of days, it's over. They didn't paint this guy's elbow, they're trying to kill it. He didn't talk about the new season, we might as well pack it in. I can't say for certain about any of this, but I'm just saying my speculation is, I think worst case scenario, we're in for a bit of a more quiet time. I think there's reason. It's reasonable that people have been worried because of the quietness, but I don't think it's the apocalypse. But that's about it for this one, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.